Idaho Central. Absolutely the most beautiful days. Yeah, I am so excited about this. All right, Garrett and I are out for the first time this year. Our ride is actually going to be taking us to some places that make it appropriate to be here at the Boise Depot, right here in front of Big Mike. Fully appreciate where we're going on this ride. We need to talk about America's westward expansion. When Thomas Jefferson made the Louisiana Purchase in 1803, few Americans considered moving west. It was seen as a wild, inhospitable place. While a few trappers and missionaries found their way, it wasn't until 1843 that the Great Migration started. That year, more than 1,000 pioneers, faced with economic hardships back home, set out for Oregon to find better lives. They found their way from all corners of the nascent U.S. to Missouri to set out on a 2,200-mile journey to the fertile Willamette Valley of Oregon. The journey was hard and many died en route, buried in graves that are today lost to time. And yet they continued. Through 1884, more than 500,000 settlers made the trek. With the discovery of gold in the Central Valley of California in 1848, many pioneers turned south at places like Fort Hall and the City of Rocks, in an area that became Idaho. More than 250,000 men, women, and children turned south from the Oregon Trail onto what would soon become known as the California Trail. But in 1869, this all changed. 2,000 miles of steel track was laid, connecting the rail terminus at Scottsbluff, Iowa, with Oakland, California. Both coasts were linked, allowing travel from coast to coast over a period of days instead of months. The U.S. was now bound together, unified, cementing America's cultural belief in manifest destiny. Almost all of the original grade of the Transcontinental Railroad remains and is still in use today. But incredibly, the section where the Central Pacific, coming from the west, and the Union Pacific, coming from the east, eventually joined, had long been disused. Today, 90 miles of this route is now managed by the BLM as the Transcontinental Railroad Historic Byway. It traverses one of the most desolate and remote regions in the U.S. And if you love exploring the American West, this is an absolutely epic adventure ride. Today, we're going to ride portions of the California Trail and the Transcontinental Railroad, maybe exploring a few other places along the way. And we really hope you'll come along and join us. All right, look at the luggage. It's hard to believe all of that fits on our bikes. That's more than most people carry in a car. All right, we are in Jackpot. We just got gas, and we just visited the general store, got a little sustenance, and we're now ready to hit the California Trail. So that's south, just another 4 or 5 miles, we'll be getting on the trail. ghost town at best it can be described is a little burg called Delaplain. And if you look back behind me, right about there, you can see a foundation. We've got a couple of other structures. This was a siding, I guess, or maybe a maintenance stop on the Idaho Central Railroad that ran between Wells and Twin Falls. So the Idaho Central was so the Oregon Short Line actually put a line in down to Rogerson, which is north of Jackpot, another 15 miles or so. But the line ended there. And somebody had the great idea of connecting Rogerson with Wells. So connecting with the Transcontinental route, which had run through Wells in 1869. Anyway, Oregon Short Line actually put this route in 1920, between 1920 and 23. And it served a number of communities between Jackpot and Wells, namely a little place called Contact, which was a copper mining district. But by 1950, they had quit shipping ore, and so there was no commercial enterprise on this route. And by 1973 or 4, the tracks were torn up. So around that time, in the early 70s, Garrett and I remember this, they were considering putting in a coal-fired power plant in southern Idaho, just south of Boise, and it was going to be called the Pioneer Coal-Fired Power Plant. Anyway, I guess Union Pacific kept the right-of-way of this route open just in case, because they anticipated there would be some coal business that could be running coal up here. But the power plant didn't happen, and it's fascinating to get out here and kick around. And so Garrett and I are headed that way. We're going to the California Trail Historic Byway. We'll be going that way across the valley and up into and around those mountains to actually catch the actual California Trail, which is another super history story that we're going to discover when we get out there. So let's go.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. Let's go.
This is a Triumph snowmobile.
Oh, I didn't know that. Didn't know they made them. Apparently we're not as hardy as some of those folks 150 years ago. There's about 200 yards of snow, and you can't get off the trail because it is mud. And then when you get past the snowbank, the stream is literally running down the road. It's just not passable, at least not by us. So we tried. So April 28th is a little bit too early for the California Trail, but definitely it's worth doing. So we've got our work cut out for us. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
I think we may be out of here by 8.
Yeah, it might be close to dark by the time we get out of here, but we definitely gave it a shot.
Look at all this water going through. So what happened anyway?
River troll.
Yeah?
It reached up.
No kidding.
I fought him off diligently,
Wow.
but I had to sacrifice my bike into the water.
It just doesn't get any deeper than that.
Oh no.
It's only a dream. Nothing is really what it seems anyway. Now little by little, in the twilight's gentle flow, in the dance of fading light we grow. sky.